morning students, this is Junita Mukherjee from SS Public School. So today we will continue with the electropotential surfaces. What is electropotential surface and how it is being different in different cases, comprising to our different fields, that is electric dipole and any surface which has the same electrostatic potential at every point on it is called the equipotential surface. Equipotential means equal in potential surface. So same electronic potential at every point it should be. For a single charge Q, potential is given by V equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q upon R for a single charge. Okay, so similarly for different charges we will have the different values V1, V2, V3 and so on, and equally we will do the superposition of the, according to the superposition principle, the sum of the potentials will be equal to the combined potential, that is V itself, V equal to V1 plus V2 up to Vn itself, as we have done in the previous section. So it will be the combination of the charges itself. Clear? Now this indicates that V is a constant and R is constant. Thus the equipotential surfaces for the single point charge are spherical surfaces centered at the charge. The equipotential surfaces can be drawn through any region in which there is electric field. If all the points at the same potential in the electric field are joined, then the equipotential surface is obtained. The shape of the equipotential surface is due to the line charge in cylindrical and point charge in spherical. So different properties of equipotential surfaces are given as below. It does not intersect with each other and it gives the direction of the electric field as at intersecting point, which is not possible. So they are not intersecting with each other. You have seen this equipotential surface, it is not intersecting. Here it is also not intersecting. In this figure also it is not intersecting, and in this figure as well, plus Q and minus Q charge, we can take a dipole over here, then this electric potential surface. So in this particular field also it is not intersecting with each other. The equipotential surface is closely shaped in the region of the strong electric field and widely spaced in the region of the weak electric field. So they are closely in shape with each other in from Q plus Q to minus Q. It is very close, but when they are inverting outward, they are outside and they are much wider in shape. So they are the lower potential, basically the lower potential area. Now no work is required to move a test charge on an equipotential surface. So no work is required to move the potential surface, a test charge to a potential surface itself. Okay. Now in a uniform electric field E, let along x-axis and the equipotential surfaces are normal to the x-axis, plane parallel to the yz axis. So uniform field, if we are taking x-axis and equipotential surface is the normal x-axis, then the plane parallel to the yz axis. It should be the plane parallel to the y and z axis, because three axes are very much essential in an equipotential surface, as you know it very well. Case 1. The equipotential surface is produced by a point charge or a spherical symmetrical charge distributed in a family of a concentric sphere as shown in the figure. So this particular figure is showing this thing. Okay. Now in the second figure, what is it explaining? The equipotential surfaces for a uniform electric field as shown in the figure below by the dotted lines. So this is the uniform circular field here. So it is defined by the line itself. Now here the equipotential surface is uniform, for an uniform electric field is there. Now equipotential surface due to the two identical positive charges as shown. So we have taken two identical positive charge and the equipotential surface is just like this. Clear? Now the equipotential surface for the electric dipole as shown in the following of the figure by the dotted lines is given by the electric dipole itself, which we have already been studied, that is plus Q and minus Q. The two dipoles, the dipole is being taken, that is electric dipole is being taken, and we have the electric potential surface given by these two values. The electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface, and as a result, work is done when moving a charge between 2 points on an equipotential surface is 0. So moving of a charge between 2 points on an equipotential surface should always be 0, and the electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface itself. Clear? So these 2 points should be always kept in mind. That is, electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface, and as a result the work done between them, between the 2 points, will be always equipotential surface is always 0 itself. Now we will move on to the relation between electric field and electric potential. Okay, so for that we need to go for the another thing, that let's see what I am going to show you in the blackboard. So let's see, students, the relation between electric field and the electric potential. The relation between electric field and electric potential that needs to be known very well. So for this purpose we are taking this particular thing, that is, we are considering a positive test charge Q0 moves a distance ds from an equipotential surfaces to another, and the displacement ds makes an angle theta with the direction of the electric field E. Suppose a positive test charge Q0 moves through a different displacement ds from one equipotential surface to the adjacent one. We know that the work done by the electric field on the test charge during this movement will be minus Q0 dV. We see that the work done in the electric field may be also written as Q0 E dot ds, that is Q0 E cos theta ds. Okay, so we are taking a distance ds here, and these are the two equipotential surfaces we are taking. It is moving in along the direction of the E. It is making an angle theta with it. Okay, so for two electric potential surfaces, now equating these two expressions for the work, if we are taking this as E dot ds, then we are taking this displacement, and E dot ds is equal to E dot cos theta ds, which is the scalar product for the electric field and work done by the electric field, and the work done by the electric field on this test charge will be minus Q0 dV. So minus Q0 dV will be equal to Q0 E cos theta ds, okay, because equating these two expressions for the work will be giving me this, and now E cos theta is a component of E in the direction of the ds. Now therefore Es will be equals to minus dV upon ds, okay. We know it very well from the electric potential difference, that is, we are equating this equation, okay. From this equation we can make this thing, that is equal to E0 EXI. Why we are taking this thing, that is E and theta component in the direction of the ds, therefore Ex, Ey and Zz and Yx and Z component of the E at any point will be given by this particular equation, that is equal to Exi, Eyj and Ezk. Now in this equation we will take this form, that is Ex is equals to minus dV upon dx and dy equal to minus dv upon dy and Ez is equals to minus dv upon dz. Now equating this equation equal to this particular equation, then x will be equal to I. In terms of this x, we remove x from this, and in place of this x we are taking this particular equation, and Ey, Ez we are taking this particular equation. For simple situations we are taking this equation, that is equal to minus dv upon del s, del v upon del s. Now negative sign shows that the direction of the electric field in the direction of the decreasing potential. So decreasing potential is there in this particular direction towards the direction of the electric field. It is a decreasing potential itself. So when it is decreasing potential, it will be with minus sign. So we can write the equation as equal to minus dV upon del V upon del S. Now del V is equals to minus of del V. Okay. Now E will be equal to del V. That is, we are rewriting the equation, and further the magnitude of the electric field is given by the change in the magnetic magnitude of the potential per unit displacement normal to the electric surface at a point, and this is what we call the potential gradient itself. That is magnitude, I repeat, the magnitude of the electric field is given by change in the magnitude of the potential difference unit displacement normal to the equipotential surface at that particular point is what we call the potential gradient. So E is the definition, the difference in the potential point is this, okay, or we can say this. Okay, so we are taking this equation is as this minus dV upon dx, which is what we call the potential gradient itself. So this particular topic is being finished, and we will arrive to some important conclusion from for the relation between the electric field and equipotential. First point is electric field is in the direction in which the potential decreases steepest. Its magnitude is given by the change in the magnitude of the potential per unit displacement normal to the equipotential surface at that particular point. So these are the 2 points. I will give video recording regarding this particular topic, and PDF will be attached with this particular video in your WhatsApp. So I hope so this particular topic is being understood by you, and the next topic will be electrostatic potential energy of a system of charge and equipotential surface of a system of the 2 charge and 3 charge point charge itself. After that, we will have the electric potential energy in the external field, and then we will move on to the capacitance of this particular chapter. I think the next topic is about the capacitance. Before going to the capacitor, we will discuss about the dielectric constants, dielectric and capacitance, what is conductors and insulators, and then we will move on to the capacitance. That is what we call the capacitor and what is capacitance. So if you have any doubt, please comment in the comment section below, and if you have any queries, you can ask me in the WhatsApp number. Thank you, students.